Hi, welcome to our reading for September 2018. Now, remember, it's a general reading, so see what feels right for you. See which signs and symbols ring for you and follow those thoughts, those feelings, those memories that you get to bring clarity to what you're wondering. We are all psychic. We are all spiritual. We are all children of God, but we're not all going through the same thing at the same time, at the same pace. This could clarify the past. It could shed light into the future or be right in sync with the now. In the end, always use your logic and intuition together to make sound decisions based in love, for the highest and greatest good of everybody, so we're all uplifted in love. See how it feels for you. If you want a more in-depth look at your month, check out your sun, moon, and rising sign videos. And if you get a chance, try to check out the musical playlist that I put below. See if there's something personal for you in the lyrics, in the music, or just enjoy the tunes. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. I hope you enjoy the reading, and I'll see you in a moment. Hey Libra, welcome to our reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's begin. Let's get clarity on the energies coming through in September 2018. Now, the Random Shuffle Pandora song that came through for Libra was Regulate by Warren G, featuring Nat Dog. I'll find that song and put it below for you guys. Now let's begin the reading. We're going to start with an animal whisper card. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, our higher self, angels, and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. Start with one card, clarity on energies coming through in September for Libra. And we have the Llama coming through for Libra. Cool. So breathe deeply with highs and lows. So whatever the altitude of your situation, you can adjust accordingly. So sometimes we're at the top. I see like the top of the wheels. Sometimes we're underneath the radar. We're in the dark about something. So wherever you are, I feel like you need to take time for you to reach in, tap into your own inner guidance system, maybe connect to your physical body, maybe doing some yoga, meditation, maybe more sleep, exercise will get you in tune with your energy. Maybe you need to step out of a situation and adjust your breathing and then walk back in when you're ready. I feel like there's growth somewhere. Maybe somebody else is growing. You can't push somebody to grow. So don't push that energy. Let something grow naturally. And when it's ready, when it's mature, it will come back around to you. So breathe deeply with highs and lows. So I feel like you're taking yourself out of the chaos, out of the ruckus, and maybe adjusting your scales. I see scales. That's also you, Libra. So feel your scales. What feels too heavy? What feels like a load? Maybe if you have a lot of responsibility in one area, you can give away some of that responsibility. Speak up and ask for help if you need it. I feel like there is help coming through if it comes through in time, energy, advice, communication with somebody else. Open your arms and receive. Trust your own judgment, your own discernment on something. And I feel like you need to speak up. Say yes, say no. Be clear with what you say, with what you mean. Walk your walk and talk your talk, Libra. So I feel like maybe sacred space is important as well. So maybe you need some you space, you know, some time alone to think about something, to come up with a solution, a way through your situation. Maybe you need to write something out. Maybe that's a list. It could be weighing the pros and the cons. Maybe you're trying to make a decision between different paths. And I feel like you actually have to write something down. Maybe you're signing a contract, or I hear adjustment. So an adjustment could mean there's a transition. Maybe you're going uphill or you're going downhill and you need to adjust your speed. So maybe you need to move along a little faster with one thing and slow it down in another area. When I see the llama, I want to say, I think of knitting or crochet for some reason. So maybe you're doing something that's sort of like a meditative, creative energy. So maybe you're painting or reading a book, but I feel like you're doing something physical with your hands. So maybe you write, or maybe you do something with crafts. I keep seeing like paints, yarn. I just saw scissors. So maybe something with like greeting cards or working with scissors. I think there's a machine called the Cricut. Maybe you do something with the Cricut. Or maybe you're a hairdresser, or you're doing something different with your hair, grooming yourself differently. So that was kind of interesting for the llama. So breathe deeply, work with your highs and your lows. Sometimes something is in focus, it's in the light, you understand something, and sometimes you're just unclear about other things. So wait for clarity. I feel like that clarity starts within yourself. I feel like you need to look at the positive things about you, your strengths, your talents, the resources you have to work with, the connections and the tools you already have around you. So let's move along. Let's get clarity for the llama. Now, we're going to move along to an affirmation card. So let's get an affirmation for Libra. Clarity for energies coming through in September. Clarity on the llama. And wow, we have no judgment coming through. At the top it says, welcome to Joyville. So find your joy. Find what makes you tick, what makes you shine, what makes you happy, what gets you going. Find the joy maybe in the small things around you. All right, the affirmation for you guys is, I release myself from any and all judgments. I find my inner critic, call it to my office, and tell it to take a vacation. As it leaves the room, I let out a sigh and begin to enjoy the joy of simply being. Who hired that guy anyway? So if there's something coming through and you feel like there's a lot of judgment on why you did something, why you're doing something a certain way, maybe that judgment is just on yourself. Release judgment. Just be. Just see your situation as, I'm getting like a learning curve, or what brings you the right muscles to handle that situation better in the future, you know, to change your direction. Whatever no came through, whatever detour came through was to bring you right where you need to be. So I want to say, take a certain filter off of a situation. Don't be presumptuous on a person or a situation. Maybe wait for the truth to come through. Wait for that connection to come through. Trust your gut when you should or should not say something, and release judgment on yourself and others. Sometimes we just don't understand someone else's perspective. Sometimes something weird happens because they had a bad day or you have a bad day, and it really blew up out of proportion. So maybe there was a fight, an argument, or, you know, a miscommunication that happened, and you just have to wait for clarity to come through so you understand that situation. Maybe it's asking yourself some good questions so you understand yourself a little bit better. So be true to yourself. What's working for you? You know, what's around you that's going well? What can you do today that makes a difference tomorrow? You don't have to paint the entire house today. I don't know why I see painting a house, but you know, you can do the preparation work, Libra. Sometimes doing all the blue tape and getting everything prepared makes something look pristine and professional and makes the job you do worth it later. So take time to prepare for something, you know, and I want to say finish something to the end, but you don't have to do it all at once. Step by step will go a long way. So even if you just take 5 minutes, make a list, write something down, write down everything you have to do, and then see what you can tackle. you know, what you can try, what you can get done today or tomorrow. You know, maybe it's actually looking at a schedule of the month and, you know, circling different dates, seeing where you have pockets of time, maybe taking a load off your plate or taking something that's too, I'm getting like ruckus, chaos, too much of a burden or too heavy to hold. I feel like you're giving away responsibility or literally just Xing out things that aren't working for you anymore and changing something around in your scales. So welcome to Joyville. What brings joy into your world? Add a little more of that flare of joyful, happy energy into your world, and it will be helpful to those other areas that feel heavy. So let's get clarity on the Llama and no judgment. So releasing judgments on yourself and others. We're going to move along and get a card from the Vice Versa Tarot. Let's get some clarity on September energies coming through for Libra. And wow, we have the Wheel of Fortune coming through for Libra. So you have a tweener time coming through. There is a page turning. This is new events that come through, new things that come into your world that actually bring you on a different path. Now, the one thing that's consistent in this world is things are always changing. So allow yourself room to change, to grow, and to adapt to a situation. Sometimes a transition is weird because we're not used to something yet. We haven't grown into those shoes yet. So I feel like this is a turning point. It's a new opportunity. It's also how you ride that wheel that makes a difference. So sometimes riding on the outside of the wheel is exciting and fun, and sometimes it whips us off and throws us in another yard. So it's finding your center here. Usually that drives your wheel the best. It gets you in the right position. So find your center, ground yourself, breathe deeply. Maybe actually go outside, ground yourself, sit on a rock, connect to Mother Nature, connect with animals. This could be doing something physical too that gets you in tune with your body. So maybe some physical exercise, yoga, meditation, maybe more sleep. I like the Sphinx here. She's beautiful. So it makes me think of riddles. So maybe something was confusing or a mystery to you, and the more the wheel spins, the more that page turns, the more you understand. I also want to say to write your own story, write your own dialogue here, visualizations, manifestation energy. You know, pay attention to what is working, what is a miracle around you, whether that's small or large. It looks like on this side you actually have the Magician here. So there is a manifestation energy. It's as above, so below. It's taking your hands on that wheel and making something happen. I just thought of Drive by Incubus. So I also see the Ankh. I feel like there's something ancient here. Maybe you feel like an old soul. I feel like you're taking an inspiration or something that's maybe I wanted to say an energetic spiritual growth spurt or an idea, inspiration, and you're bringing it back down to earth to make it happen, to make it a reality. So step by step, see what you can do. I want to say set yourself small goals that bring you towards that bigger goal that you're looking towards, but don't put a lid on the box. Pray and visualize for the best possible outcome to come through for both you and everybody else. I feel like there can be a win-win situation here. I just hear ancient. Maybe you do something with like, I want to say like megaliths or ancient earth energy, or like sacred places on the earth. It makes me think of I want to say Machu Picchu, or maybe Egypt, or Tibet, or Those are the ones I'm getting. So maybe something in the Americas as well. It makes me think of a sundial. I think of a dolmen. A dolmen is where there's like huge rocks with the big rock that's just sort of set on top. It kind of looks like a little Flintstone house. So maybe you live near a dolmen. I feel like there are dolmens in America, and I want to say Scotland and Ireland. So maybe you're going to Scotland or Ireland, or that's important for you. I feel like the Sphinx also has this beautiful helmet on. So maybe you're protecting your thoughts. You know, waiting to contemplate something, or waiting for the right time to speak, or how to present something. I feel like you're solving a riddle. I hope that makes sense to you. So maybe something you just didn't understand starts to make more sense in September, whether that be why you went through something, why you are going through something now, or why somebody else did something. So I also, when I see her, feel like she just got a haircut. So I want to go back and say maybe a haircut is important, or someone around you is getting a haircut, or hair is important. When I see the red robe that the magician here has, it makes me think of the root chakra. So that's like survival, sexuality. It's that inner drive to just stay here and survive and be. So maybe the root chakra is important for you guys. Maybe getting some Reiki healing done helps you handle this transition better. But I feel like this transition coming through is taking you to a better place. So even if it feels like something was a hurdle, or something was slapped into your world and it didn't feel right, no, it's getting you on the right path. Even if you can't see ahead down that road yet, it's taking you where you need to be. Sometimes when I think of the Wheel of Fortune, I actually think of a car too. So maybe some of you are getting a new set of wheels, or getting a tune-up, checking your oil, maybe actually getting new wheels. Check your tires, make sure they're not bald. Maybe it's a new mode of transportation. Maybe if you live in a city, maybe it's a transfer in your job and you have to take a different subway to work, or a different bus, or you're the passenger driver. Maybe you are carpooling somewhere and that's a better way to get to where you're going. It could actually mean a trip as well. So maybe you're taking a vacation. There is vacation mentioned here. Now it's a vacation on Judgment, but maybe you're actually going on vacation or planning one for the future. Maybe a road trip. You know, maybe the best way is to take your time and do that long drive and not necessarily fly. Maybe you'll have more fun on the journey than the actual destination. So let's move along to an angel tarot card and get clarity on the Wheel of Fortune. So, I mean, the Wheel of Fortune can mean, I'm getting like under the radar. It can mean you're below the surface on something, but you're breaching the surface eventually. So sometimes things need to be in the dark so we gain inner clarity on something, or we gain new perspective within ourselves, or we allow someone else to grow behind the scenes and then come back around later when they're ready. So let's see. Let's get a card and clarify the Wheel of Fortune, Major Arcana number 10. And wow, okay, so we definitely have a transition, because there's a 9 and a 10. You have the Hermit and then the Wheel of Fortune coming through. So the Hermit here is epiphany. So maybe you're figuring something out, something that was a mystery, but this is turning on your own inner light. Sometimes this is going to the woods, going to the cave, going somewhere far across the mountains by yourself so you can figure something out. This is alone time. Sometimes the Hermit upside down is too much alone time, and you have to let others in eventually. Eventually, you have to make your way back to town. You have to go grocery shopping. You have to do your laundry. You have to call your connections and text a few people and get back out there. But the advice usually with the Hermit is that you do need some alone time to figure something out. The Hermit is like a spiritual light, a spiritual guide. They can be a beacon of light to others. So this is Archangel Raziel. It's 9. It's almost completion with something. Sometimes this is a Virgo energy coming through. So maybe you have Virgo in your chart, or there's a Virgo-like energy around you. I also see this old man here, and it makes me think of grandparents or wise advice from somebody who's had a lot of experiences. So there's always the staff. Now the staff is in your left hand. So I think of a staff of support and inspiration, also getting your footing and getting grounded. We receive with our left and give with our right. So you're shining a light forward after you receive this grounding inspiration, the support that comes through. It starts with supporting yourself. So when I see the lantern in the Hermit card, it always makes me think of a person in a cave, and there are like petroglyphs, you know, or writing on the cave, writing on the wall. And when you shine that light, you can only see what's right in front of you, not in the next cave room. So pay attention to what's right in front of you, you know, what's right there for you to work with, what you can see now. I feel like others can follow your light in the beginning before they learn to turn on their own light. So maybe somebody is kind of, I want to say, mirroring you or mimicking you or trying to be like you a little bit, but it's so that they can learn to do something on their own. I want to say take it as a form of flattery, Libra, because they're into you. They admire you. They want to be like you. So eventually they'll find their own. They'll find their own voice, you know, their own flair and talent in a situation, their own way to do something, but they might follow you in the beginning. This might be you also giving good guidelines for someone else so they get a good start on something, even though they might not do it your way in the end. So this is also, you get a lot of joy here. Joy through spiritual growth. Be a light to others, Libra. Answers that come through meditation. So let's get one more card. We're going to get a card from the Sacred Traveler Oracle, Clarity for Libra on Major Arcana 9, Epiphany. Welcome to Joyville, no judgment. The Llama. Breathe deeply with your highs and your lows, and the Wheel of Fortune. I'll show you both sides. Clarity for Libra. And discovering truth. So you're figuring something out. You're discovering the truth within you, maybe new truths. Maybe you did something always a certain way in the past and you're changing, you know. What worked for you then doesn't mean it's going to work forever. You stand in the light of truth. I feel like that goes with this one, with the Hermit. So you might be walking away from a situation towards a new situation or walking into a situation. You stand in the light of truth. I feel like you see a road sign or a map or a new direction. It's like there's a little sign here. It says like this way or that way. So maybe you're contemplating different directions. Maybe you can go down one path and check that out. And if it doesn't work, you can always go back to that road sign and go down a different way. Let's see. Discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. Listen to the wisdom that rises from your soul, even if those around you don't agree. Trust your instincts. Be yourself, whatever the situation, and respond from the authentic place inside you. Be starkly honest with yourself. I think I said that at the beginning of your reading too. Speak your truth, live your truth, walk your talk. I think I said that. Listen to your inner guidance and follow it. You radiate the energy of truth to others so that they can find their truth. That's exactly like the Hermit here. So the Sacred Traveler wants you to know, if you are facing a decision and your mind says one thing and your heart says another, follow the dictates of your heart and you'll be on the right path. If you get a nudge to speak to someone or go in a particular direction, don't hesitate. Follow this guidance. On your journey, others may indicate what path you should take and why. You can listen to their advice. However, if your heart indicates another way, follow that. There's a place inside yourself that always knows the truth. Take time to be still and discover that genuine place of knowing within. Often the hardest thing about living your truth is discovering what it is. So it's important to slow down, be quiet, and listen to the whispers of your soul. If there's an area of your life in which you're not being authentic, or if you're not in integrity with your values, this is the time to adjust and make some changes. All right, Libra, I love you so much. I hope this reading was helpful. I hope you have a beautiful September, and I'll see you soon. Bye.